Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to Rally Point. This is our monthly series that brings veterans, topics, and programs and veterans themselves front and center. This month, we're diving into a topic of developing character based coaches who inspire, specifically providing a renewed sense of purpose for veterans, service members, and military spouses to become character based coaches in their communities. We think you'll find the discussion helpful and inspiring. And if you're watching us on Facebook Live right now, add your comments or questions as we go along. Now, today I'm joined by Harrison Bernstein, founder and CEO of Soldiers to Sidelines, as well as two of his soldier coaches, Uriah Hunter and Kurt Klein. Hey, we're honored to have all of you here with us. It's really exciting to hear about this program, Harrison, and also to meet two of your coaches. So let's dive in. Harrison, go ahead and introduce yourself a bit, and then tell us about your background prior to Soldiers to Sidelines.
Thanks, Mike. So I founded Soldiers to Sidelines in 2015 as a passion project while I was coaching football and strength and conditioning. And I never served in the military, but I was based out of Washington, D.C. at the time. I was at one point a strength and conditioning coach for the Washington Redskins under Joe Gibbs and Jim Zorn. And I was coaching high school football in Washington, D.C. right after leaving the Redskins in 2011. And, at that time, our country, we were in the thick of war in the Middle East. And so many service members and veterans were coming back to this military-rich area of the capital region. And I was just smack in the center of seeing folks struggling to find purpose, what to do next, trying to work through some of the challenges that the battlefield produces. And, we just had this platform in sports to reintegrate our veterans and service members into the communities by, saying, your military experience translates to become great coaches in the community. And quite frankly, your country still needs you out in the community. And what a great segue to bring our transitioning service members and veterans to our ball fields and sports courts to influence our young athletes in the way they want it. So started doing this in 2015, created a curriculum, started doing seminars, and I was still coaching football. So I would do one football coaching certification seminar. First one was at Walter Reed Hospital in Bethesda, Maryland. And it was just so impactful. We eventually diversified into lacrosse. I was still coaching football, started coaching college football, went back into the NFL as a defensive backs coach. And then in 2019, I resigned from coaching to do Soldiers to Sidelines full-time. 2020, the pandemic hit, and then there was no sports, so nobody could coach or do anything. But it was the biggest blessing ever because the world got used to a virtual learning format, and we were able to spread our knowledge and our reach to across the country rapidly at that moment. And lo and behold, we're at 923 certified soldier coaches now across 7 sports all across the country. And two of our best soldier coaches who have come through the program and are doing a tremendous job in the community are with us today in Coach Uriah Hunter and Coach Kurt Klein.
Great. Well, let's start with Kurt, with you. Give us a little bit of your backstory and then tell us how you found out about this.
Sure thing. I'm a retired Navy guy. I spent 25 years in the Navy, came in as an E1, worked my way up to E7, crossed over to the dark side, retired as an O3. And I thought I'd want to be a coach the whole time I was in the military. And what I realized is that the idea of coaching and actually coaching is totally different. So I kind of got distracted by money when I retired. And I had a couple great jobs, and I found that I was just the most unhappy I'd ever been. And so I took a walk on the Appalachian Trail. And when I did that, I decided that coaching is where I needed to be. I needed to find a place to help others, and because that's what I made a career out of doing in the Navy. And I can't tell you how good I feel about finding a program like this that Harrison started, because it really is very beneficial to putting veterans back into service after they retire or after they leave the service, because 100% of the people who join end up leaving.
My dad told me that when I got commissioned. He said, you're going to leave the Army, so just leave on your terms. And then say again, how did you hear about the program?
So great question. I've started coaching here with the Titans in Alexandria City. They made a movie about them a few years ago. Lucky ended up there, and then they had there's an active duty Army veteran that works there now, and he told me about this program. I said, I'm going to check that out.
Chief, tell us about yourself and the great place and how you got involved.
No, definitely. It's a pleasure to be able to speak to the team today, and thank you for having me on. I started off coaching in about 2019. I started off in Korea, and I got started with coaching. It was from another peer of mine. He brought me on, Lamijah Allen, and he saw that I had I would say it was a way of talking to adults, youth, children, having a level of patience, and he recommended me to get involved with coaching. And that's how I kind of started off. Initially, I didn't think that coaching was something I would ever do. I always enjoyed, just dealing with people, and he kind of thought I was a really good people person. So that's what got me involved in the coaching. I moved to Fort Hood, Texas in about end of 2019, going into 2020. And I ended up running into Amber Love. We were actually working together with the youth program here in Central Texas. And she was already involved with Soldiers to Sideline. And she recommended that this would be great for me because it was something that I was already doing. And since I've gotten involved with working with Harrison and the team, it's just been great. I've had an opportunity to work with adults here at Fort Hood. These are active duty soldiers. Had an opportunity to work with a lot of different colleges here in the area. And just giving these guys the exposure with, being able to do their job on a daily basis to being able to get out in the community and volunteer, be able to get recognized and participate and compete against some of the local colleges that are here in Central Texas.
Uriah actually just earned a gold medal coaching women's basketball for the Army basketball team. But yeah, he's been really doing double duty in coaching several basketball teams, and he's got this wonderful forte, like this superpower in being able to motivate, inspire, and get the most out of these incredible, women basketball players.
Uriah, tell us about it.
So I'm fresh off of helping the Army women, 2022 All Armed Forces gold medal. They ended up going 7-0. I was able to join that staff, and I'll tell you, prior to maybe even joining Soldiers of Sideline, I didn't think that I would ever see myself coaching at that level. I think it was just the journey, being able to work with the youth, working my way up to working with adults. Having that encouragement from joining the MDP program that Harrison put together through Soldiers to Sideline, it gave me the confidence I needed to, take that next step. And for me, that next step was being able to coach at the highest level in the military, and that was at the All Armed Forces level. And the exposure that I've been able to give those athletes and just bringing them together, it's been rewarding for me. Just the opportunity to see them be able to compete. This is all volunteer time for them as well, just to give back to the community. It's been great for me. So, yeah, Harrison's right. I mean, we've done a lot. I mean, that 3 to 4 year turnover for me has gone from not coaching to working with youth to helping Fort Hood win a national title at the military level to winning a gold medal. I wouldn't have told you that I would have been able to be exposed to all of this in such a short period of time. And I think I have to give a lot of credit to the folks that I've been able to have mentor me and provide me a lot of guidance here. So
that's great. Congratulations. And so, Kurt, let me ask you similarly, as you got involved, were you a former football player and you transitioned that background into coaching, and how much of it is leadership and how much of it is knowing the game?
So my background in football, started football in junior high school. We moved around a lot when I was a kid, and that was one way that I found that I could always try to integrate and make friends quickly throughout high school. And then I had an opportunity to play even when I was in the Navy overseas. They had intramural leagues, and we'd play up and down Japan, Okinawa to Sasebo to even up in Misawa, we'd play intramural leagues. And what I realized is when I was when I was playing football, I was doing something I loved. Now, transitioning that into coaching, I think there's a big difference between playing football, watching football, and coaching football. And speaking to leadership, I think the military gives us these great tools for leadership, and we already have these things for socialization. But the big piece that's missing, that I think is missing because coaching is largely an apprenticeship-based thing. You kind of have to learn as you go. You look at all the greats, and they learned as they go. And having this program is it's so critical to the guys like us that have a lot to give back, to just kind of put us on the fast track and learning the X's and O's. It's amazing. There's nothing else like it.
So Harrison, if you were not a football player, but you wanted to be a football coach through this program, what comments would you have for our audience?
Well, the premise of Soldiers to Sidelines is that we're all coaches every single day in every aspect of our life, whether we realize it or not. So the coaching tools and strategies that we teach really apply to what happens in your family room at home, right? In your office at work, and then on the basketball court, the football field, the lacrosse field, whatever. Everything kind of translates because we define coaching as influencing others to do what we want them to do because they want to do it. And it's very difficult to be able to do that, but I think it's something that we have to commit to for a lifetime to get better at, because just imagine if we could get everybody to want to do the things that they should do, how successful they could become. Right. And that's what we're doing as coaches. So football really is just the medium to be able to express this. Basketball is the medium to express this. And this is why sports are great, because there are these microcosms of like these safe environments to teach these wonderful lessons to young athletes. And it can really improve our country, like wholesale, at the youth level. Like, this is a big deal. And so, yeah, to answer your question, certainly, if you have a passion for sports, or you just want to connect with your own kids because they play sports, it doesn't matter if you ever played a day in your life. The skills for coaching are unique unto itself, and it doesn't matter the sport. And we are here for you. We can help you get involved.
We did mention in the beginning that character-based coaching. Harrison, would you talk about that just a little bit on the significance of that part of being a coach?
Yes. So we say coaches coach people, and we teach the sport. Right? So coaching is coaching people. And we talk about character-based, it's about our own character. How are we developing our own character as a coach? How do we role model that for everybody else so that we can develop a nation of athletes with strong character? And, and this can encompass everybody's different, moral systems, hero systems, all of this stuff. It all doesn't matter because we're developing character. And the sports, much like the military, is a unifier, right? We all have the same thing in common, with a common goal, a common mission. And if we can just coach people to become better people, they will become great athletes, teams will win. And as you know, General, like how much can be accomplished when you get, platoons, battalions, companies, everybody to come together, marching in the same path. I mean, you become like really an unstoppable force. And yeah, that's where character is like the cornerstone of all of it.
How did you see that apply to you, Uriah?
As Harrison was kind of speaking about that, it just took me back to just looking at not the character of just myself, but the coaches, the type of players that we have. When we start to develop and put teams together, when I'm working with youth in the community or teams outside of the military, you tend to have players that, have a similar character as you gravitate towards you. In the military, you kind of have to mold those guys or those gals to, what it is you want them to be or how you want them to operate. When you have a like-minded individuals around you that have a similar character as you, it makes it that much easier to get things done on the court. A lot of times I find myself now to where I was up doing a lot more talking to where I don't have to do as much now, because the individuals I have that are built on my team, a lot of them have a similar mindset as me. And like Harrison said, a lot of coaches, they are coaches before they get that title. And I think that was something that was ingrained in me as well. And it was much easier for me to just go ahead and throw the title on because it was something that I just didn't really truly understand. I was already doing this prior to.
Kurt, so if I heard you correctly, you're at a public school. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. Alexandria City Public School, formerly known as T.C. Williams.
Yeah. And so I often say that when we place our veterans in front of the youth of America, you may be the first or the best role model they may have ever seen. So with regard to this discussion on character, what have you found as you interacted with them, especially at the beginning, in terms of how they responded to the fact that you had dedicated your life in a selfless way for our country and for them?
Sure. I think what I noticed first off is that they're not used to seeing veterans. They're not used to seeing people show up every day at the same time. And a lot of times, they just want to watch and observe you for a bit. And because I've been in that situation before, I was also a drill instructor for the Navy for 4 years.
Oh boy.
I'm familiar with what it is to be that example and to have people watching you do everything that you do. And it takes about 2 weeks before they start to see that you're not there to put on a show. You're not there to impress anybody. You're there to help them. And once they start to realize that, that's the exciting part for me. Is like when they start to invest in what you're putting out, you're basically selling themselves to them. And when you do that and they start buying it, that's exciting, because then the circle starts to come complete. Because one of the reasons I'm doing this is you see young men that are struggling to get over that fence into adulthood to become a man.
Yeah.
And they have to climb it, but giving them that extra effort, just helping them get over that thing is it's more fulfilling than any amount of money.
That's right. And the old saying is that they don't care what you know until they know that you care.
Exactly.
And so that 2 week period of you coming back when, and that's something they can count on, then they count on you. So Harrison, how about telling us, just in this world of humble people on the line with me, tell us about the nomination by the New York Jets for Salute to Service.
Oh, yeah. So we're supremely honored to be nominated by the New York Jets for the NFL Salute to Service Award. Soldier Sidelines is a Salute to Service partner of the New York Jets. We just completed a virtual football coaching certification seminar powered by Verizon, presented by Verizon, and on behalf of the New York Jets, right? So members of their coaching staff, their general manager, Joe Douglas, spoke at this 15.5-hour seminar that was done over 5 days. We had about 70 folks certify in this seminar. And then they hosted us at their training facility in season in Florham Park, New Jersey, where we did a live in-person workshop where we really got into the nitty-gritty of football coaching. It was really football specific. Kurt was actually in attendance at this workshop, and it was an incredible experience. This year, the NFL has opened up voting for the Salute to Service winner. So if you go to NFL.com/salute and meet the nominees, vote for the New York Jets and Harrison Bernstein and Soldiers to Sidelines, because that would really give so many more service members, veterans, mil spouses, and Gold Star families the opportunity to continue to serve their country as a coach.
So Uriah, answer me this: if you're out there watching this on this Saturday, here for Rally Point, then how does someone get involved with this? If they say, I want to do this, what are the dance steps?
So similar to the path that I took, I think the easiest way to get involved is through social media. So Soldiers to Sideline has a Facebook page. They do, I call them their classes, really. They do classes on a regular basis. And I would say you have to sign up for one of those classes. And once you sign up for one of those classes, it's free. It gives you a lot of information. A lot of the instructors that were in that class are the folks that came on as guest speakers. These are active coaches that are involved with either college teams, NFL, NBA teams, or they're similar soldier coaches like ourselves that are coming on and giving them a lot of instruction. So I would say that that's a great place to start. Go to the Facebook page, Soldiers to Sideline, sign up for the next webinar or next class that's being given. And it doesn't matter which class you take. You can take the football version, the strength and conditioning version, the basketball version. And I think that is the first place where you can get started. And I think that'll get you on your journey with becoming a soldier coach.
Very good. And then Kurt, same thing. If you were going to advise someone how to get involved, what would you advise?
Sure. My story is, the young sergeant that we work with told me about it, and Soldiers to Sidelines, huh? So I went straight to Google and used the internet and found the website, and I saw that they had their website as well as a Facebook page. They also have Instagram and I think Twitter. So they've got all this information out there, and like Uriah said, you just find the next program that they're putting on, and then it's like hopping on the freeway. You just start driving.
Once someone's into the program, Harrison, how is there placement assistance with different schools, or is there a network of information that you help them to know what schools in their local areas available, or what schools are available if they want to move?
Certainly. And we have pathways for everybody. So the way it works is you complete this certification seminar. It's 15 and a half hours virtually from your home, free. Then you have to do some homeworks. So you got to complete that certification. If you are able to make it through and complete, then you're certified. And then from that moment, you have access to so many other services that we have, like free in-person coaching workshops, like what Kurt engaged with the New York Jets, and like what Uriah Hunter participated in with Appalachia State men's basketball over at Fort Bragg this past summer. And then both Kurt and Uriah are going through our membership development program, which is one-on-one instruction with me. And I shouldn't say instruction, it's more like facilitation, where we just have these discussions. And just like they are pulling out the greatness from their players, I'm helping them with a conversation think through the greatness that's already within both Coach Klein and Coach Hunter, so that they can have success, like winning gold medals, and then finding the right coaching opportunity. So with Uriah, as he's going through this, I've gotten to know him very, very well. I've gotten to know Coach Klein very, very well. Then we have discussions of like, okay, what are your aspirations? What does your life enable you to do? So like, everybody wants to be the assistant coach for the Lakers, but if you have 2 kids under the age of 5 and you live in Philadelphia and your wife works in New Jersey, I don't know if you can go to LA to coach for the Lakers. So like, these are all the things that we kind of work through. And then once we understand, what the aspirations really are at the most core level, we help facilitate that path that makes the most sense for that soldier coach at that point in their life. And then you're with us for life. Once you're in, you can't leave. And you always have access to, figure out your next step. Because like this year, your life outlook might be very different than 3 years from now. And we are here to be that carriage for each of our soldier coaches on the path that they want to achieve in coaching.
And if someone wanted to donate, then what website or where should they go to help you with this program?
Yeah, thank you for asking that, because all these services are free, right? And it's free only because of our generous donors and sponsors. And we just had a wonderful Giving Tuesday yesterday.
Okay.
Giving Tuesday lives on, just like everyone should support the museum. if this is something that interests you, you can just go to soldierstosidelines.org. And at the top, there's a red donate button, and it's super easy to become, a monthly donor. Goes a long way. You become part of the tribe, and you can participate in this greatness.
That's really excellent. So, Coach Klein, now that I've got your titles straight, what was the biggest thing that surprised you on how this affected you? Not how it affected the kids, but
I'm a big knowledge consumer. I'm interested in getting information and learning. And what surprised me was the level of detail that goes into coaching and how much preparation and how much work there is away from the sidelines. Actually, coaching on the sidelines is a very small part of coaching. Coaching is primarily done before you get to practice, and then when you get to practice, and then it all comes out on the field. If you read The Art of War, Sun Tzu says that every battle is won before it's ever fought, and that's a great analogy for what coaching is. And I was surprised at the level of detail that goes into coaching, and Soldiers to Sidelines has it.
And Coach Hunter, same question. What was the most surprising thing or surprising impact on you as you got into this?
Yes, sir. So I know when I first got started, I didn't have, I was a little nervous, didn't have a strong expectation of what I was getting into. But I think as I kind of started working with Harrison, it's similar to what Coach Klein just said. You look at a coach and you see a coach on the sideline and you think, oh man, that coach is doing so much from the side. It's so much that goes into it to where you have to learn people. You have to get to know each individual person. And I think since I've gotten started, the most surprising piece to me is how much time I've spent just getting to know my people. And it's very similar to the MDP program that I'm doing, to where I think if you spend more time getting to know your people, it makes it so much easier for you to coach on the sideline. So for me, it's the organization and being able to learn each individual person. That was the most surprising to me.
So Harrison, do you think that's a common to all discovery? Do you go into a new relationship with an aspirant coach and you wait for that aha moment? Or
Yeah, but it's not one aha moment, and it's not one aha moment for me either, right? These are symbiotic relationships. I adore my time with Coach Klein and Coach Hunter when we go through this, and they probably give me just as many epiphanies as I give them. And I think, we are all on this coaching mastery journey, and our leadership is the same way. It's a practice, and it's always evolving over time. And so, these aha moments, hopefully we have several, and, the more that we can have, the better. That's not a sign that we don't know and that we're ignorant. It's a sign that we're growing. And hopefully all of us are fortunate enough to continue to grow all the way up until our very last moments on earth.
Well, let's do a little go round as we complete here. So, Coach Hunter, if you had a call to action to our audience, what would it be?
So I would tell anyone out there that is on the fence with getting involved in coaching that this is the right platform for you. 4 years ago, I was not coaching. I wasn't doing anything with coaching. And since I've gotten involved with Soldiers to Sideline, I've been exposed to the University of Texas coaches, which has helped me out greatly with what I've been able to do in the Army and what I'm going to do once I get out of the Army. This has been a blessing for me. It's given me definitely some guidance in reference to, I know I wanted to get into teaching. Coaching is a way for me to continue to keep teaching. And Soldiers to Sideline is a great program for any soldiers that are out there that just want to get involved. And it doesn't matter what level you want to get involved at.
Thanks. And Coach Klein.
I think every veteran that's served, when they leave service, kind of has a part of them missing. And if you're looking to fill that, the only way to do it is to continue to serve in some way. I believe veterans, myself included, has an obligation to continue to serve after service. And this is a great way to do it. If you're looking into coaching, check out Soldiers to Sidelines. If you're looking at doing something else, then find a great veteran service organization and just do it.
So, Harrison, final thoughts from you and call to action for those who are listening in today.
I just encourage everyone to cast their stone in the water to create their ripple effect in providing purpose for our service members, veterans, spouses and Gold Star families who want to continue to serve their country as a coach. And you can do that by getting involved. If you want to coach, that's how you're casting your stone. And if you just believe in the mission, go to the website and donate. Like, everything helps. The more we can prevent money from being a barrier to entry, the larger and more effective we can create our Army to positively influence in our communities.
Well, thank you. Thank you all for what you're doing. I grew up in a pretty good home and some pretty nice places, but if it wasn't my family teaching me about character, it was my coaches, and that's for sure. And often when we think nobody's watching, the kids are staring, and so it makes us be the better version of ourselves. A couple of other thoughts just for the whole audience. We have a resilience and wellness program here. We teach and train Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu 5 days a week. Of course, Chief, you know that from the Army Combatives program that goes on there at Fort Hood, and that I was a part of inventing. We teach yoga here, CrossFit many times. So what you really have heard, among other things today, is get connected, get some healthy activities going, help somebody, and you'll feel worthy. Reconnect to your tribe, and then things will be better. We do feel often when we leave service like we jumped out of that airplane with no parachute. And so today's a great opportunity to take that courageous step again, like leaping out of a plane, a courageous step to go to the website for soldierstosidelines.org and try it out. You've already left home. You've already got out of your mom's basement once, and you've gone around the world. So take a chance at it. We've got some upcoming events, so go to our website as well. And we have our resiliency program even includes poetry night on 9 December, journaling workshop, and then comedy night on the 10th. So we'll get you involved in one way or another, and make sure you're okay. Now, don't suffer in silence. And also, so if you're hurting, reach out, tell somebody if you need something. Likewise, all of us, my call to action to you is to call or text a buddy before the sun goes down or before the sun comes up tomorrow, and just tell them you were thinking about them during this time, this season of the year, and tell them they can talk to you if they need to. So God bless you all, Coach Harrison, Bernstein, Coach Klein, and Coach Hunter. You are shining examples of what it is to be a selfless servant and make somebody better. I thank you very much. And Harrison, we'll let, as is our tradition, we'll let you close us out.
Oh boy. Well, all I can think of right now you put me on the spot, I just got to go back with what I know, and that's breaking a huddle. So everybody's going to bring it in, right? You're going to put your hand in the middle. And what do you guys, does the museum sign off on something? Is there?
Well, in jiu-jitsu, we go 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Okay, so let's put our hands up. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Thank you all. God bless. Take care. We'll see you.
Bye.